Hey guys, Autism Mom Stuff here, Natasha. Okay, so, hold on one second. Fish sticks. So it's Friday. I usually eat pretty bad foods or nostalgia type foods, you know what I'm saying, on Friday and Saturday. So I wanted to talk about today what you'll encounter when, or what will happen when your kid is finally diagnosed and perhaps he or she has some challenging behaviors, right? At least for me, and I think for a lot of other parents, it can be very isolating. It can be very isolating. I've always said often that, like, us autism, or at least for me and maybe other families like me, we don't really move the same way that a typical family moves. Like, we don't do a lot of the same things with ease that I grew up doing. For example, when I grew up, we went out to eat at restaurants a lot, even if it was like something like the diner or, anything. Could be a fast food place. Just going outside the home to eat was something that we did like often. And when you have a kid that's on a spectrum, if their behavior is not to a point or at a level where they can go in a restaurant and sit down at the table and, order food and eat, and they don't have to be verbal to order food, they can order food on their tablet, this, that, and the other. But if their behavior is not up to par, what's appropriate, a lot of that, you can't really do a lot of that. That's one thing I want to talk about. Like, us autism families, we do have to move differently. We move a little differently. And unfortunately, I didn't understand at first, but like when it comes to family, sometimes, like, could be grandparents, in-laws, your mom and dad, sibling, cousins, aunts, whatever. If people don't have autism in their direct circle, like in their day-to-day life, people could be so just like not understanding in any capacity, or being respectful of what it is that you're trying to do or trying to figure out. They don't want to give you no space, no time to do that. If they want to have, Christmas dinner, or they want to do this and the other, and want everybody there. And if you express like, oh, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because Roman is going to probably, bite somebody's nose off, or he's not going to sit down for a group photo type of thing. If your kid is like that, expect for your family to be, in my opinion, non-understanding. They're not going to understand, and it can sting a bit. It can absolutely sting a bit. One thing that I learned was that people, family or whoever, right? If you don't put up some sort of like guideline or boundary, people just they don't care. It's almost like people don't have a life of their own, so they need something to talk about. So they want to talk about you, and they want to talk about your kid, because they don't have no life of their own, and that includes family. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say what it is. It's just what it is. You're going to run into that, especially going out of the home. That's why I talked about like how we as autism families, we move differently. If you get invited to a birthday party or something like that, you're like, oh, we might be able to go, we might not. I don't know. I'm going to see how he's acting. If it's a good day, or if it's a bad day. which when it comes to us autism families could be the deciding factor for the whole day, man. For the whole day. So people will get like offended. Well, why don't she want to come here? Why don't she want to come there? And it's like, I remember thinking like, what is wrong? People have no clue of the day-to-day struggles and challenges that we face as parents when it comes to navigating life with our autistic kid. And people will have the audacity to have an attitude with you because you don't want to come to the family cookout or because you didn't come to this. I'm not wasting my energy. If I don't want to go, I'm not going to go. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm always going to choose what's in the best interest of my kid and of me. And of me. Don't let people dictate how you move with your kid. And if that means that I'll get invited to cookouts or whatever because you feel away, because you don't have a life, you need to get a hobby, or you just need to know everybody's business, and that's what that means. I really don't care. I don't care because it's too stressful. It's too stressful. And if I'm going to socialize my kid outside of the norm, therapy and school, whatnot, then that's something that actually has to be like a planned thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, well, sure, we're going to go here. I mean, you could try stuff. And if we do come, we ain't staying long. We're not staying a long time. You know, I don't know how else to really say it. Expect people to have an attitude with you because of how you have to move with your autistic kid. Expect people to have a negative perception of how you mind your business. Expect family to have a negative perception of you because you simply just mind your business. You in your own world. You minding your business. You trying to navigate life with your kid and be like, oh, what's she doing? Where they at? Why don't they come here? How come that? Go get a life. Mind your business. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody. I don't have to explain nothing to nobody. And I don't. Because unless you have an idea of the day-to-day challenges with my kid, have a seat. Have a seat. Somebody need to tell you to have a seat because it's really unfortunate and it's unfair. And that's why, like what Cat Williams said, you have to really kind of grow, you have to ask God, man. You have to ask God for trampoline skin. Yeah. Trampoline skin. Because expect your boundaries to be crossed like habitually. What was that joke somebody said? Like a habitual line stepper. People will habitually line step your boundaries. And you're going to have to keep putting them back across that line. It takes some time to get used to. Now, this is not going to be for everybody whose kid has autism. There's plenty, like I said, there's plenty of high functioning kids. It's the spectrum, ASD, autism spectrum disorder. That word spectrum is there for a reason. It truly is a spectrum. But if you happen to be one of those families where your kid falls on the spectrum, where we're not going, no, not today at least. That's why I still encourage, reach out, get involved in a group, get another friend who might have autistic kids or could get together with autistic kids. There's a lot of restaurants nowadays are, I don't even know necessarily restaurants. I know Chuck E. Cheese I think every Sunday or something like that. The first Sunday of every month is, Special Needs Sunday. You're going to have to start looking for things of that nature, because at least for me, to take my kid to do certain things, that has to be a planned event. Me and dad have to have a conversation. Okay, so we go up in here. All right, this is how we're going to do. This is the plan of attack. This is the plan of this. It has to be that. Like it does. And it can be isolating. It really can be. Don't feel bad if you have to get a babysitter or have someone watch your kid, and then you, especially if you have other kids, and you and your other kid, go out and do something. You're going to have to leave the other kid home. Or take a day where, when your autistic kid is at school or at the clinic, and, you keep your other kid home from school, we're going to go do something today. And you show that other kid that some attention, and just enjoy their presence without having necessarily any interruptions. These are things that I've had to do. These are things that I know other families have had to do. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. Especially if you're loving and taking care of all your kids. You just have to get really creative with how you're going to move as a family who is navigating autism. My older son with games. He's played soccer and football and basketball and throughout the years. Well, we all can't go watch the game. We all can go watch the game. I can't go to every single game. And if I do go to every single game, it's only going to be like half the game. You know what I'm saying? Because my husband has to go and take him, get set up, okay, about halftime or whatever. You got to be home so I could go and watch him for the rest of the game and show my face for my kid, because we have an autistic child and we can't bring him if he's not behaving in a certain way. Like, these are the ways and things that families have to do. I know for a fact that the families do this. We have to move a different way. You have to get very creative. And a part of doing all that is extremely energetically draining. And then what happens is you have, people that are close to you, or family members. I'll tell you a story right quick. It's not my story. Somebody told me this. I ain't gonna say who told me this, but somebody told me this, that they have an autistic son, and her husband's family were having this like Thanksgiving or something at a lake, and it was on the lake. And it's a very big deal for that family. And all the women were in the kitchen cooking, getting together, cooking all the food together. And all the guys are hanging out, doing their thing. Typical American stuff. Good old fashioned America, right? So, but she's with her kid and it's by a lake. She's running around, running behind her kid, making sure that he don't go into the lake as a child. And so she couldn't participate in cooking of the food and letting him play with the other kids, because he needs to be monitored, right? And her mother, I think her mother-in-law, somebody said to her, when are you going to stop using that kid as an excuse to not participate? She was mad. The mother-in-law was mad because her ideal image of a family Thanksgiving wasn't exactly how she wanted it to be, simply because she had to watch her autistic kid. I'm telling you, and the fact that she would say that to this mom who already feels some kind of way, I can assure you that, who already walks around with some sort of heartbreak on a daily basis, because you have no idea how to navigate this with your kid. The level of insensitivity, the level of just the audacity of people. Like, why would you say this to this? Why would you say something like that? That's a story somebody told me. Now, I'm just saying. I believe it. I believe it. And me and her, we was, we're two moms with autistic kids, and we was drinking a little bit, and she said, I was like, F her. She was like, yeah, F her. I love it. And I appreciate moments like that, again, which is why I say reach out when you can. But to be a mom and to be energetically drained, mentally, emotionally, physically, and then have people that's supposed to be your family be selfish and chastise you because of how you have to take it, that expect stuff like that to happen. Now that might not happen to some people, but to some degree there's going to be something people treating you that way. I've specifically asked, my family at times to not say anything, just for the simple fact that, let me figure this out. Can I just figure this out? Just let me have an idea as to what is going on, and how do I have to navigate this? Do they respect that? No. Mind you, no one is here with me on a day-to-day basis doing anything for my kid but me. But yet people want to take, I don't know, because they need something to talk about. I don't know. But anyone that knows me knows I mind my business. I mind my business. I don't have an ill intention towards anybody. Okay. I hope everybody's doing well. Right. But you got to give people the space to figure out their own stuff. And if you care so much, I didn't receive a text from you. Hey, Tasha, hey this, hey that, what's going on? This is just nosiness. You see, intentions is everything. Intentions is everything. That's something I just want to say. I have no idea necessarily what I'm gonna title this video, but I did want to express that when you have a kid that is on the spectrum, us families, we have to move a different way in every aspect. We have to get creative and figure it out. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Well, you could go with him. You can go with her. You could do this. I'll stay here and do this. It's a lot. And what you'll run into is it can be very isolating, one. And two, there are going to be family that's going to be offended because they don't know everything about your business, or because you can't go and do what they want you to do with them. So I just want to prepare you for that, and start building some trampoline skin, as Cat Williams said in his interview at the top of this year. But that's my spiel for today. Again, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Cut the noise out. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, and spiritually, physically. Take care of it all. Focus on you. Don't forget to put you at the top of the list, because you can't do nothing for no one if you're not at the top of the list. So let me go finish eating these fish sticks, because it's Friday and they're delicious. All right. Bye, guys.